Seville is known for being the home of flamenco dancing, but I'd much rather talk about stadiums, so why don't we check out the Stadiums of Seville, Spain. I see we're going with stereotypical Spanish music on this one, alright. We start off at Estadio de la Cartuja, which is situated on the island of Cartuja, an island that is not much of an island anymore, to be honest. This is a rather strange ground, because despite the fact that it's one of the largest stadiums in the country, it doesn't have a permanent tenant. It was originally built to host the 1999 World Athletics Championships. It did. But then it was supposed to become the home of the two biggest football clubs in the city. It didn't. That's because, unsurprisingly, the supporters of those two clubs weren't too keen on moving. Not only would they not want to share a ground with their rival, but it's not a football-specific stadium and has a running track. It does occasionally host the national teams, as well as big club matches every now and then. I do quite like the design, particularly these windows over here. Although recently it has had some structural issues that closed the stadium down until they were repaired. Maestranza, or to go by its full title, Plaza de Toros de la Real Maestranza de Caballeria de Sevilla. Geez, I wonder why they feel the need to shorten it. They didn't quite move mountains to build this bull ring, but they did have to level a hill called Baratillo Hill. And that was back in the mid-18th century when a bulldozer was just some guy that hypnotized bulls to sleep. The facade is a little different from the other Spanish bull rings we've seen in this series. Not quite as grand, but even more distinctive. You may have noticed that the ring itself is not perfectly circular, as is usually the case. Well, this is due to the nearby houses that didn't allow for it back in the day. That's okay though, because the word plaza means a public square, not a circle, and this is a square-ficked pair. As much as I don't like the sport, I'm sure a bull would rather die here than at a slaughterhouse. I certainly would. Estadio Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan is home to the city's namesake club, Sevilla FC. Yet it's only the third largest football stadium in the city. However, there is one area where this ground beats the other stadiums in the city, that being the oh so important mosaic category. Yes, mosaics. The facade features some beautiful mosaics, one of which commemorates the 1982 World Cup that this ground partially hosted. Speaking of international football, the Spanish team has an incredible record at this ground. In the 25 matches they've played here, they've remained undefeated. In fact, they've only conceded 6 goals. You know what? I think it's the mosaics. I'll explain. The opposition team arrives from Albania, where the mosaics aren't quite as impressive, and they feel intimidated before they even step into the stadium. If they can do that with tiles, think of what they can do with a football. 9-0 it was. Having said that, Albania has never beaten Spain. So I'm only going to give partial credit to the mosaic intimidation theory. The fact that Spain tends to be quite good at football probably has more to do with it. Estadio Jesus Navas is the showpiece of Sevilla's training complex, known as the Ciudad Deportivo José Ramón Cisneros Palacios. It's the home of the pipsqueaks, the Sheilers, and the leftovers. Or to put it in a less demeaning and more polite manner, the youth teams, the women's team, and the reserve teams. The stadium has had a lot of work done in recent years, and I believe there have been plans drawn up to expand it further, and really turn it into a top-notch football stadium, as well as a corporate hub. It's not surprising that corporations would be attracted to a stadium that's named after a prophet, albeit indirectly. Palacio Municipal de Deportes San Pablo is situated in the San Pablo industrial estate.
A leafy neighborhood with charming laneways and plentiful cafes.
As we already mentioned, Seville hosted the 1999 Athletics Championships. Well, in 1991, it also hosted the Indoor Athletics Championships, right here at this venue. Which explains why the arena floor is considerably larger than the basketball court. They somewhat rectify that by bringing in portable seating, which is not the prettiest, but it does the job. and it also increases the capacity significantly. Just on indoor athletics for a second. Athletics is already sport stripped back to its most rudimentary form. So whose idea was it to dull it down even more by making it room temperature? Estadio Benito Villamarin. With a capacity of around 60,000, this is the largest stadium in the city. It is also perhaps the most visually striking stadium in the city. I know what you're thinking, what about the mosaics? Well, unlike Sevilla, Real Betis like their mosaics to be inside the stadium. I am of course talking about the large depiction of a footballer over on the eastern side, who is in a perpetual state of celebration. Well, actually, when it's a sold out crowd, we don't know. He could be pissed off under there. Other than that, it's basically a green triple-tiered version of their crosstown rival stadium. It too hosted games of the '82 World Cup, and it too is named after a former club president. Although I should probably point out that this ground has been around a lot longer. 95 years. That's nearly 100 years, you know. So not only is it the biggest, but the oldest as well. If you disregard Plaza de Toros de la Real Maestranza de Caballeria de Sevilla de Plazas de Torres Real Plaza de Sevilla o Torres de Plaza Maestranza. This club's reserve stadium is tiny, but I thought I'd at least show it. Here it is. Palacio de los Deportes de dos Hermanos. After all the long names I've had to pronounce in this video, I think I am now at least a conversational level Spanish speaker. For instance, this venue includes a velodromo, which means velodrome. I swear I didn't even have to look that up. For whatever reason, velodromes tend to be a bit more interesting than basketball arenas. I guess the architect can do more with a larger space. The most remarkable aspect to this building is that despite the roof, it's actually an open air venue. It's deceiving you. This is not a solid material. It's a fabric that can be completely removed to reveal the outside world. Very interesting design. And those were the stadiums of Sevilla, España. It was certainly a case of quality over quantity. Thanks for watching, have a good one.